All right, guys, we got some important information shared by NIO CEO. Operation efficiency to the max. CEO reaffirming profitability for Q4. Lots of great stuff shared by the CEO. I'll share the full clip at the end of this video. Also, the CEO talked about how in the month of May, so very soon in the next few days when we get the delivery numbers, you're going to see a 40% increase in Envo deliveries. And they've actually had a 40% reduction in frontline staff. So that's definitely very, very good to hear, right? 40% less staff, frontline staff, but 40% more sales. That's definitely what you want to see. So they're working really hard for the operation efficiency front, and they're seeing some good results, which is very, very nice. And Envo, it's picking up steam, guys. So it seems like with the recent incentives and everything, and it's just working, which is really nice. And then on top of that, of course, NIO CEO talked about how they must be profitable in Q4 this year, and they will definitely achieve it because everything is pretty much, they have all three brands out, right? They've launched all three brands. They've made everything more efficient, right? They have the newest chips on the cars. They have the newest software on the cars. The cars right now are the most competitive that they'll ever be. So he said if they can't reach profitability in Q4, that's very different from not reaching profitability for Q4 last year. And if you know Q4 last year, man, those results were kind of shocking. Pretty big losses, right? In Q4 last year. So it's a very different scenario. And if they can't, it seems like if they can't get profitable by Q4 this year, what's the point? So they're trying very hard. And something I've noticed is in terms of Envo staff hiring and all that kind of stuff, even in the hiring posters and everything, they have really lowered the base salary by a tremendous amount, okay? And it's basically bonuses, right? Your salary is primarily bonuses, and that's the way it should be, right? If you sell cars, you're capable of selling lots of cars, you earn more money. If you can't sell cars, then you shouldn't be earning money, right? So it turns out before they had a very high base salary for Envo, and because the cars just launched and all that kind of stuff, so they had a lot of people who were incompetent or unable to really sell a lot of cars. So they kind of fix things. Right now it's more performance based, which is very, very nice, and it should always be like that, right? Performance based. And yeah, I think, well, first let me share my thoughts on earnings. Regardless of what Q1 earnings will be, if we get good guidance for Q4 profitability, which you're probably going to hear what he's going to say in a moment, right? When I share with you the clip, he's probably going to say the same thing in the earnings call. But I think they're going to reaffirm that. And he said we're probably not going to see the results of operational efficiency until Q3, Q4. So before they said you're not going to see results of operational efficiency until Q2. So I think you'll see some impact, like some reduction of losses in the Q2 earnings report. But Q3 is where you really have to take a look, and if things are really turning around for a very good Q4 earnings report. So my expectations, like for the earnings call on Tuesday and earnings report on Tuesday, the number's probably very bad, okay? I've made that very clear because they've spent a lot of marketing, a whole lot of money on marketing, way too much, and launching the brand and everything, launching new cars, everything, that costs a lot of money. It's gonna not look good, all right? And that might spook a lot of you guys, but you guys need to know that they remain on track for profitability in Q4, okay? What I'm seeing on the ground here in China gives me confidence that this can be achieved. Yeah, this can possibly be achieved. And right now, the products are selling. The only curveball that we could possibly see right? And remember, right now the Model Y is refreshed; it's selling as well, right? So despite that, NIO's cars are still selling well. The only curveball, perhaps, is Xiaomi YU7, but that could potentially, you know, have a big impact. But from what I've said before, their factories are not near completion, and they're many, many months away from actual production. So it seems like for the Xiaomi car, they have the YU7 inside the stores now, but the YU7, and they're going to launch it in July, and the deliveries are probably much, much later in the year. So we'll have to see, does that have a huge impact on NIO? And I think there will be some impact, for sure, okay? And I want the YU7 to be delayed even more, okay? That would be good news for us. But let's roll that clip of NIO's CEO. Have a listen.
Without price changes, we reduced staff by 40%, but May deliveries grew by 40%.
But starting in Q2 this year, the seeds have begun to sprout. By Q4, when it's harvest time, all 3 future brands have launched, right? The main models have been updated with the latest tech, chips, OS, everything. If you've made these moves in Q4 and aren't profitable, it's different from last year's losses. So I believe Q4 profitability is crucial for our company's development stage. If you can't profit in Q4 this year, when can you? What other strategies do you have left? It's like graduating and working but still unable to support yourself. You go through school, college, expecting to support yourself after. I went to college to become self-sufficient, but not everyone can be expected to do that in college. So I think we're approaching that stage now. It's both possible and necessary. Why is it possible? As we've said, our new products are highly competitive. Our cost control and operational efficiency have improved. We should see results starting from Q3 and Q4. New products are out, technologies implemented, management improvements since Q4 last year till now are gradually showing results quarter by quarter. So we're pretty much at that stage now. At this point, brand recognition like Ladao, new last year, has been on the market for a year by Q4, gaining popularity, and New Evil should stabilize at a reasonable level. So the main models of our next-gen products are changing. I believe we can and must achieve this year. Of course, Q4 is just a few months away now, not half a year, only 4 months left actually. It's June, July, August, September, so we must iterate monthly. We need to grow every month with only 4 months left.